today's news.
Israel. He's coming here at a critical moment for the region and for the world.
House action on a speaker.
I think we're real close.
Trump's new gag order.
So unconstitutional.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. President Biden is set to head to Israel later today, a strong show of U.S. support as Israel prepares for a possible ground invasion of Gaza. And it comes after new deadly Israeli airstrikes. Palestinians say some have come in southern Gaza. People to the north had been warned to head south in anticipation of any action on the ground. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb has details from Jerusalem.
In Gaza's Rafah city, a massive Israeli strike all but obliterates a residential area. Our CBS News team on the ground witnessed the immediate aftermath. Gaza producer Marwan Al-Ghul describes what he saw.
Dozens of killed people and dozens of injuries. No enough ambulances. The people here tried to do all of their best to take out the injuries by their hands.
So many who are children, screaming in agony as their world crumbles around them. Since fighting began, the UN says more than 1 million Palestinians have fled their homes. Israel warned people to leave the northern part of the strip to the southern end ahead of its likely ground invasion. Israel continues to target the south in brutal attacks like this.
From Tel Aviv, CBS's Holly Williams has more on how families of hostages held by Hamas are dealing with the uncertainty. Israel says Hamas holds nearly 200 people.
A new Hamas propaganda video shows one of the female hostages, 21-year-old Mia Shem.
It's very hard to see my daughter. I see the pain. I see that she's in physical pain. She's very emotional and very, very scared.
Do you think that this video might be a sign that Hamas wants to negotiate?
I hope so.
White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more this morning on the expectations for the president's trip to Israel.
He stops first in Tel Aviv tomorrow for meetings with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and members of his war cabinet. From there, he's set to visit Amman, Jordan, where he'll huddle with that country's King Abdullah, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and Mahmoud Abbas, head of the Palestinian Authority. 2,000 U.S. troops are now on a heightened alert to be ready to deploy to the region in a support, not combat role. They provide intelligence, logistics, and communications support, and some would beef up security at U.S. installations throughout the region.
Outside Chicago, a funeral for a 6-year-old Muslim boy. Police say the stabbing attack on him and his mother is considered a hate crime. The family's landlord is accused. He was said to be angered over the Israel-Hamas war. The mother, who survived the attack, had urged to pray for peace. The boy's uncle says,
"We live in a country called USA. We're not in war, and we're not bringing war here, too."
Terror alert in Brussels after a shooting attack left 2 Swedes dead and stopped a Belgium-Sweden soccer match nearby. A suspect was shot and killed. A claim of responsibility was posted by someone said to have been inspired by ISIS. Now to Washington, CBS's Nicole Killian has the latest on the Republican struggle to choose a speaker.
A paralyzed House will try again to fill the void with Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan.
We got to come together as a conference, or we can't open the Congress. So we need to get a speaker as soon as possible.
Jordan mounted a full court press after flipping several key holdouts.
He's assured me that members like me and the people I represent will have a voice.
But not all Republicans are convinced.
If he will force this vote to the floor with people objecting, I will not vote.
Some Democrats have labeled him a far-right extremist, while former D.C. police officer Michael Fanone, who was beaten on January 6th, called him an insurrectionist and an election denier for objecting to the 2020 results.
I've never said this election was stolen. All I've said is, let's check it out.
Colorado's Ken Buck says he wants more clarity around Jordan's position.
If he's going to lead this conference during a presidential election year, he's going to have to be strong and say Donald Trump didn't win the election.
It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's